is based off the conversation we were having on our YouTube episode when we were talking about money and currency, and Ellis was like, we should get back to bartering. Oh, miss it, blah, blah, blah. So this fun fact is the evolution of currency.
Go on.
So obviously started off as a bartering system back in the day, early prehistoric times to early civilization. So how it worked was people would exchange goods and services directly, for example, grains for livestock or tools for fabrics. But the problem was it required a double coincidence of wants. So both parties had to want what the other person had. So that was where the issue came about. Then we fast forward to around 3000 BCE. Can we Google what BCE means? I actually don't even know what that means. Before the Common Era.
Cool.
So around 3000 BCE, items with intrinsic value was used as money, such as cowrie shells, which was in Africa and Asia, salts used by the Romans, where the word salary comes from, which I never knew, and livestock, tea, tobacco, and metal tools. Why did this matter? These items were durable, divisible or divisible, and widely accepted. Then we move on to 600 BCE in Lydia, which is modern day Turkey. This is where first coins were invented. Made from electrum, a naturally occurring alloy of gold and silver, standardized weight and government stamped, and it spread to Greece, Persia, Rome, and beyond. So all around Europe, basically, and then it spread even further. And the significance was coins were portable, easy to count, and harder to counterfeit. And then paper money was introduced, and the origin was in China during the Tang dynasty in the 7th century. They were called, I don't know how to pronounce this, Jiaozi. So like Jiaozi.
I don't know again, sorry?
Jiaozi.
Jiaozi. Versus gyoza.
It popped up. That's
Jiaozi versus gyoza. It must be a dumpling thing. Yeah. That's hilarious. Yo, Jiaozi dumplings.
Okay, that must be a dumpling thing.
Jiaozi.
So the earliest form of banknotes, it emerged to replace the heavy metal coins for large transactions and long distance trade. And it was eventually adopted by the Islamic world and Europe much, much later. And then we move on to the 1100s to the 1600s. This is where bills of exchange was invented, permission notes were invented, and the letters of credit emerged as well. Then we had early banks in Italy, and then safe storages and things like that. They move further on into the fiat money, which I've never heard of. So currency that has no intrinsic value, but is backed by the government decree. So examples are modern day paper money, like US dollar and British pound. I never knew it was called fiat money. So then we move further on into nowadays where we have digital cryptocurrency, and then who knows what's going to be next after that. So that's the evolution of
that's fascinating.
Currency.
That is fascinating. So
I've never heard of fiat money. I didn't know there was a branch of what our money is called.
That's fascinating because so a pound used to represent a pound of gold, right?
Back a day. We're probably talking like Egypt times. You know what I mean when I say
Egypt times.
You know what I mean when I say Egypt times.
I know what you mean, but
Fiat money. Yeah, fiat money. So literally is just money because the government was like, that's worth this much. And you're like, it's just paper. Like I said, it's worth something. So it's
backed by the government. It's legal tender. Very interesting.
I wonder when banks started coming in and going, I'll give you a loan.
Oh, he said
banks start coming in between the 1100s and the 1600s.
Oh.
Banks are fascinating.
Banks in Italy, and then it spread out.
It's weird though, because I know how banks make money now, but I wonder how they made money then. Because basically they make money now by obviously they take all our money and then they invest that into shit, which makes their own profit, and then
they put the money back in.
Yeah, and then they put the money back in and it just constantly goes through that. But back then, when you couldn't just invest in fucking whatever, how would you make money?
I think it'd just be stupid interest rates. They'd probably let you borrow 100 quid, but I reckon that's the only way they made money. They would just, when you're paying it back, you probably have to pay back fucking 800 or something. I reckon it was just like stupidly high where they'd make mad profit off getting money back.
I'll tell you what as well, what banks do, which I didn't know, is government bonds. Do you know what government bonds are?
Nope.
Government bonds is where the bank literally lends the government money. So they'll give the government a 6-month loan. The government will be like, we want 20 mil, 100 mil, 500 mil because we're doing XYZ projects. And then they'll take it from the bank and then they'll have a guaranteed return. And be like, we guaranteed to pay you 10% interest on it when you get it back. And it's a bond based on a specific amount of time. So you're going to loan us this for 6 months. And if you give us it for 6 months, we'll give you 6% interest rate. If you give us up for 12 months, we'll give you 12% interest rate. So incentivizes it through that. The longer you let us have it for, the more you'll get back. And everyday people can do these as well. Government bonds. You can do a government bond yourself.
And the interest rate is dependent upon how long it takes you to pay it back.
How much it is, and how much it takes you to get back as well.
You can do it as an individual or as a business?
I know you can do it as a business. I feel like you might be able to do it as an individual. I'm not sure.
Interesting.
Government bonds.
Government bonds. Debt securities issued by national governments to raise capital, financial various public expenditures and projects. These financial instruments represent loans made by investors to the government with the promise of repayment and interest and predetermined future date. So it doesn't say it just has to be a business. It just has to be an investor. They're good. They're like a really, obviously you're not going to make gazillions back, but in terms of being confident, because you're guaranteed as long as, so if you're doing to the British government, as long as the British government is a thing, you will 100% get the money that they said they were going to give you. So it's like more, in terms of when they say investment is like high risk, high reward, low risk, low reward. Government bond is a very low risk, low reward, but like guaranteed reward. It's interesting.
Fair play. Fair play.
I know you're into your investment shit. Government bonds are a good one.
Noted. I didn't even know, this is random because I put my Twitch money in my Monzo. I didn't even know Monzo had a savings thing. So I'm starting to put my money there.
Interest rate thing? Oh, okay.
I never knew they had a savings. Interesting.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Fair play.